My name is Eric Estevez, and I'm a branch manager at Nations Lending.
Awesome. And why did you come to Command Your Brand?
I came to Command Your Brand because for the last couple of years, I've been growing my own brand, right? And I've been speaking at more engagements. I've grown my brand through education, and I felt like it was the next segue, right, into continuing to grow in my business. I love to teach. I love to have discussions, and that's how I come across as an advisor, really in my
Mhm.
industry, to continue to build credibility. And I saw Command Your Brand and what you guys have been able to do for other people, and I wanted to be part of it.
Awesome. And what was your experience with the onboarding process? What was that like for you?
Man, it was an amazing experience. I mean, I think everybody from day one was very pleasant, very on the ball, right?
Mhm.
Make sure that they kept me accountable with the things that they needed from me as far as my profile, right? So they can help pitch me to shows. So I think very professional, very encouraging.
Mhm.
Definitely provided feedback when they needed to provide feedback. So overall, it was a great experience.
Awesome. And what value did you receive in your onboarding process?
The value that I received, one, I think I learned a little bit about myself, right? Because you do all these things and sometimes you don't take a few minutes to sit down and write these things down. And one,
Mhm.
I was proud of some of the things that I was able to do. And it was good because sometimes you got to just kind of step away from your business and have a bird's eye view of where your business has been, where it's going, right? To see what the trajectory. So I think the onboarding helped me do that, right? Because it helped me really pinpoint, right, the strengths in my experiences in the past, and maybe some things that I needed to focus on as far as opportunities. But I
Mhm.
think it was self discovery, right, which helped me grow.
Wow, awesome. And how was your experience working with the PR team?
Amazing. My experience with the PR team was great. Again, very communicative. Always sent me reminders, right, through via text, via email, to make sure that they kept me on the ball so I don't miss anything. And thankfully, I was always on time with all of my podcasts, and I wanted to make sure that I showed my professionalism and my gratitude for them having me on. So it was good all around, right? The communication was on point.
Awesome. And what results did the program create in your business?
Well, I think the results that the program created in my business is still ongoing, right? I think that we still have some more podcasts to be released. The good thing is that I think people in my community, especially in social media, right, see me more as an advisor because I'm doing these podcasts, and
Mm,
I have some friends that listen to it, and a lot of times we talk about just mortgages or real estate, but in some of these podcasts, right? It's much more than that. It's thought leadership, it's business leadership, right? It's financial entrepreneurship. So these are some things that I don't get a chance to speak about when I'm training about mortgages or real
mm,
estate. And I think that it just shows that that I'm more than just a mortgage loan originator, right? I want to be an advisor to people, and hopefully my positivity, right, my optimism comes through in these podcasts to continue to cement myself with my viewers, right, with the people that are out there in my network, for someone to reach out to when they do have a question about mortgages, real estate, or anything financially related.
awesome. Excellent. I'm glad someone listens. It's really good. And how did appearing on podcasts help your messaging?
Pairing up with podcasts help with my messaging. One, I mean, it's practice. When you teach, you learn, right? So the more you're having conversations, the more you learn from the other individual across that camera.
Mhm.
Also the preparation allows me to focus on my strengths, and also continue to be sharp, right? Whenever I jumped into a podcast, I wanted to make sure that I had my points across. What was new? What was current? Maybe what are some of the things that I've read in a recent book? And there's been several podcasts that I had just finished reading a book, for example, Zig Ziglar. I reread, right,
Mhm.
and used some quotes that were really pertinent to the conversation, which again shows the audience that we're individuals that are constantly working on ourselves, that we're constantly learning. And people that listen to these podcasts have those personalities, right? Because they want to continue working on self improvement. So we got to also do the same. So it kept me sharp.
Awesome. And was there any show that really stood out to you that was like, wow, this is a great show. This was just amazing. This is exactly what I wanted. Anything like that?
Yeah, I think the shows that, as far as the shows that stood out, I think they all had their specific audiences, their own personalities, and to me, every one of them added value and stood out because it helps me speak to people in different settings, and people have different styles, right? Some people are much more
Mm,
direct and rapid fire. Some people like to
yeah.
joke around and just banter, and I think it's good for someone who's trying to expand their brand through podcasting to be able to talk in different rooms, in different settings, in different atmospheres, right? So I think they were all value added, but I do want to shout out a couple of podcasters. So Jason Duncan,
Okay.
great podcast. And we actually follow each other on social media. We've had several conversations over the phone already.
Yeah.
He has a mastermind that he doesn't invite everybody to, and he's inviting me to out to his home in Tennessee, where he has a mastermind, and
Wow.
we're developing that relationship, and hopefully that introduction through Command Your Brand and doing this podcast can lead into something bigger. I also had lunch not too long ago with Andrew Frazier, and Andrew Frazier, has his podcast, and he's here in my home state of New Jersey, and it just so happens that he was able to get financing for a young African American minority entrepreneur in my hometown, and we went to go eat at her lunch at her
Wow.
restaurant, amazing restaurant by the way.
Mm,
And he was telling me a little bit about what he does, right? And I think and he's actually connected me to a couple of people. Just to actually, this is so funny. Just today, right? I had a realtor that Andrew knows he's brand new in the industry, and we had a 15-minute conversation on the phone today that Andrew connected us, right? So I
wow.
think that to me, it's not about just meeting these individuals. It's about maintaining an ongoing relationship and hopefully a working relationship, right, to help us grow. So I think those are the two that stand out for me because of what happened after the podcast.
That's great, man. That's awesome. I like to hear that. And is there anything else you'd like to communicate in your experience working with Command Your Brands?
As far as why I would recommend Command Your Brand, I think if anyone who has been doing this for a long time and has something to say and has value to give, and some people are just doers and they're gonna make money, right? Just going out there and grinding it, and some people are teachers, right? Some people want to share their message, and I'm one of those people, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you're one of those people, right, I think a company like Command Your Brand is gonna help you, right? Gather your thoughts, put together your profile, market you out there, and start your podcasting or even your speaking career. And what I'm hoping is that this is just a transition into me, continuing to do more podcasts, continuing to be invited to more speaking engagements, even live conferences and whatnot. And I think that that's something that I really would enjoy, right, as I'm building some other businesses.
Nice. That's great. And I think you mentioned this in your last, what you were mentioning there before, but would you recommend Command Your Brands?
I would definitely recommend Command Your Brand. I think that the experience was top notch from A to Z. I think you guys over delivered, right,
Hmm.
on your promise with the amount of shows that you promised. And I think that it's something that if you're thinking of starting your podcasting career, right, even as a speaker, even before you start your own podcast, maybe, definitely reach out to Command Your Brand.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.